Go. Alright, this is Gumby, and I am doing a VOD review
Okay.
of
Go
a
left door,
team.
up
Not
upstairs.
gonna
Go
name
left door upstairs.
names,
Clear comm.
because I don't really care.
Okay.
So, seems like they're running... Hang on. How do you pause this? God damn it, I wish spacebar was pause. Anywho, move that here. So you've got Sombra Genji... Sombra Genji dive, basically, versus a very strange push comp with Sombra Doom. So, let's see how this actually works.
Tell him you're not my friend.
Ryan Zarya.
Okay. Okay, I already have a problem here with this movement. Hang on. Particularly this Sombra. The Sombra should be somewhere over here instead. You should be flanking instead of being part of the team. The only time that you're supposed to be part of the team is to either hack a Doomfist that's really aggressive, or to prevent, what do you call this? Prevent a Hammond, or a Wrecking Ball rather, that's about to initiate with a pile driver. That's basically it. Apart from that, you're always flanking and scouting them ahead of your team, especially if we have a Lucio. Anyway.
Mercy Zen.
Are they rush?
What are you going Zen? Go Zen.
One Zen.
Okay.
One Zen.
Alright. So basically, the Zen here is bait. Because they have this Mercy to res him, and this Zarya to actually save him from whatever initiation. We go back a little bit. Hang on. God damn it. Go back. Okay. Look at their position. This Rhine is almost always going to charge over here. The moment that they're going to dive this. The moment that you're going to dive their Zen. The Zen is always going to be here. In line of sight of the Zarya, in line of sight of the Rhine, and the Doomfist, because this wall right here is prime for a pin and major damage. So, basically you guys got baited. That's what I'm saying.
What are you going Zen? Go Zen.
One Zen.
One Zen.
So yeah, you got the Zen, but you trade both of your tanks, and this is basically a lost fight.
Ryan's on you, Summer.
It's all Gucci.
Back right now.
There should be a call out, by the way, of whether or not you're still fighting this or not.
Yeah, we need to get out. Get out.
Go back.
You lost that way too early?
Fuck you, bitch. Yo, Zen's
Alright.
back right. Far back right.
I have no idea what happened here. It's like somehow our Ana just died off screen. A good call to fall back.
Yo, I can get on Zen in the back. Let's go out right door, cause Zen's over on right door.
Go right door.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, get on Zen right away. He's
Right
up here. He's up here. Where I am. Yeah, go.
Wait.
Okay.
Uh,
When your Sombra says go, and literally the Zen is just here because the other team is just bad, just isolating this guy without any protection, just go on him. And I don't understand how our Winston messed up that jump. So that should have been something that's, I don't know, fixed next time. Anyway, so that execution was kind of sloppy. You still get the Zen, but right now you're kind of split.
Okay. We got him.
I'm on Mercy's one. Fuck.
I mean, you managed to kill the Zen, but there was no plan after that. Who were you supposed to engage?
You lost.
Some just jump off.
We need to wait for our entire team to be here before we
Yeah,
dive.
we're not.
Sorry. I didn't. I
Don't
thought we were
dare
all there.
without our
We called
entire
out
team.
Zen and like we still had people not going.
Yeah,
I
'cause
was
you
getting
know
healed.
that
I was
well.
on 200 HP.
They
Zen is back left now.
We're gonna have
They
to
shattered?
kill Zen
They
and then I
shattered?
can ult.
No, they haven't.
No.
So
They have all their ults.
No,
Alright,
can you-
well,
yeah,
they have
can
both
you-
ankles,
come
then.
on,
We're
come
gonna
on, come in. Okay,
Just
three.
push right.
Okay.
Push right. Go right to
they know you're left.
right.
They know you're. Yeah, they know you're right. I mean.
Doom
Okay,
Doom
you're in the
Doom
back line.
Ryan, go
You're
behind.
fine. Just dive him.
Okay. There's no way that you can dive this Doomfist, by the way. Who cares about this Doomfist? Just leave him behind. Use your Lucio to speed in, and then EMP and do whatever you want to do. Like, I don't know, a Blade. I don't think your Diva's all gonna get the bomb yet, so bottom line is ignore the Doomfist. He's whatever. Just go with your play of EMPing and then maybe blading or nano boost Winston. Something like that. Bottom line is that Doomfist is merely a distraction.
Where is he?
He's all the way to the
I got hacked, I got hacked, I got hacked. Stop.
Zenact.
No, they used graphic.
Also, I wish these things did not really exist. We don't need them right now. We discuss them
Enter this building.
after.
Mercy low, mercy low, mercy
We
low.
have Discord for that, I think.
Zarya.
Instead of typing it and
Way too.
having zero input here.
Zarya.
Apart from that, hang on, let's go back to that fight.
Push him.
Zarya.
Okay. So you get an EMP on just the Zen, or I think that's just the Zen.
Enter this building. Mercy in here, mercy low, mercy.
So there's a guy on Mercy, there's another one on Zarya. Basically, you're all very split. And by the way, split is not fine. Split is not fine. He's like,
I'm dead.
Stagger.
your particular team composition calls for all your guys to be focusing on one target. Maybe your diva can contest something like a Zen, so that his attention is not healing people instead peeling for himself from the diva. Or maybe your Sombra can just go for the Zen and then 1v1 him. Something like that. Sure, that kind of split up is fine, but anything else you're focusing because you don't really have a lot of damage output. You don't have a Zen that can Discord orb someone on the enemy team. And Genji, while being able to, what do you call this? Snowball via dashes and whatnot, is not a very consistent damage dealer. So that means he's really good at finishing off kills, but he's not really good at 1v1ing kills himself. Or at least not in a very efficient way. You need your tanks, and perhaps you need a hack from your Sombra. So being split is kinda bad.
Stagger him.
It is not fine.
That's an easy Sagger.
Just let him grab health back, yeah.
Nice.
Sombra no chance.
Alright, what else do we
We
have?
really need to focus this
Do
dude.
we have
Last
Nano?
time we got away with
Doom's
way
the carry.
and we
Wait,
literally,
we need to hack Zen. Oh,
we
they're
literally
up
just
top
ignored
left.
the
They're coming in.
Doomfist.
Okay. I hate pausing. Okay. Alright, just to be clear, there's no way that you're gonna be able to focus down the Doomfist unless he commits into your team and then has zero backup plan. As in, he has no ult, he has no uppercut, he has nothing. That is the only time that you can focus down a Doomfist. Apart from that, you're not focusing them down because he's one of the most mobile, most survivable heroes in the game right now. So focusing him down or diving him being a dive target is a really, really bad decision.
We can play like Nano Winston, and then I'm gonna hack Zen.
Top right.
I'm on point.
Yeah, I'm
Just
Game
go
phase.
now.
We can't block anything.
he comboed me
I'm
when I was
double
dead.
hacked.
I'm on their 8 players.
I have no idea who you're focusing right now, by the way. There's no focus fire being called.
We'll stay on.
Stay on and focus on who. That's something that you guys need to work on. Like, yes, you're down one.
Then hack
What
Zen.
now? What's the plan? Who do you focus on? Because at this point, you can't
Holy crap.
exactly like just back off. It's 99%. You need to win this fight.
Holy crap, that wall saves that. The wall went up right as he was gonna die.
Okay, no one cares about how the Zen was saved. What we care about is how can we stall this point. In this situation, we can't really do that, but in other situations wherein it's like bullshit happens, it's whatever. Forget about it. Just focus on what you can do the next time and what your team can do to make up for it.
Damn, was you're super close, bro.
Listen, no, they fair.
Oh,
Inside. They fair.
we advanced a little bit too far. Okay, we have what seems to be...
Map Zom.
Okay, so we have Genji McCree.
Hanzo.
Oh shit, my bad. Sorry.
Alright, Hanzo McCree.
They have a Kree's, looks like what they ran last time, except for the Kree and Lucio and
Dave Lucio.
Aura?
I think
Right.
listen, no, they fair. They fair inside. They fair mercy. Let's go right side.
Push right,
Push right. Right. Come across.
Okay. Ryan is wasting his shield right now. You should be going right, as everyone told you to. Because really, what else are you supposed to do against this Pharah? Nothing. If your team has a Lucio, and if you can punish them having no bubbles or anything that can save their tanks, then you're Gucci. The Pharah just does nothing. He won't. Pharahs are very good at outputting damage. They're not very good at safely finishing off targets. So if you can do this attack very quickly before the Pharah becomes a problem, like you can eliminate these two tanks and then group up, push in, pressure the point, pressure this point, then the Pharah becomes a non-issue. So something to remember next time.
Is Aryu's personal?
My shield's low. We can push.
Okay, that's a good call out.
2, 1, speed.
Speed on the
Speed,
right.
alright,
Speed on
that's
the
a
right,
good
speed on
speed. And where's the damage? The damage is missing. This Rhine is still half health. We have a Hanzo and a McCree, but they're not focusing down this guy, which is the call right now. So this attack, while actually very good, it's a very good punish for them using their shields like very willy-nilly. It's gonna fail because no one else is focusing this guy. This Rhine.
Back left.
No bubble.
Help me, right one.
Pharah's low.
Mercy half?
Now you can argue that the McCree is focusing on the Pharah
Green behind, Gam.
again, like what I said before. If you can focus down their ground
I'm here.
units or ground heroes,
I'm here.
I got him.
the Pharah will not be a problem.
Sorry, low.
Sorry.
Sorry, low.
Of course, you need to focus them down really fast.
Okay, just engage.
I got
Yeah,
my
they
tree.
don't
We can
rest.
push in. We can push in once Lucy's back. Once Lucy's back, we can push in. Get ready to amp. Get ready to amp.
Yeah, just go. We're ready.
Swipe and I amp on the point.
Oh, commercial. Twitch Turbo.
Let's just
I don't have it.
Friggin' Twitch Turbo.
On turn. I'm close to shatter.
They use personal. Ready for you to watch.
Okay, good speed.
I'm low. I'm back. I'm low.
Alright. Good kill. That's a very unfortunate kill on your Lucio, but that's okay.
It's a zoning ultimate.
Alright.
Please help me, please. Heal me,
It's
please.
sorry, I'm sorry on the
Okay, my question here is, what are we shielding our McCree from? Because if you look closely... Okay. Raise it. Okay, if we play that again,
It's a zoning ultimate.
oh, sorry, I didn't.
their McCree is already dead. See that? So the only person on their team that can actually reliably kill McCree very quickly is already dead. The Pharah is not gonna be a problem. The Pharah just wants to hide from the friggin' high noon. Same with the Mercy. The Rhine is no longer a problem, he's respawning. And this Zarya is just on the point, hiding from that high noon. So, why isn't our Rhine just being more aggressive and taking more space?
Zoning ultimate.
Please help me, please. Heal me,
It's
please.
sorry, I'm sorry on the back of point. No personal.
Mercy. Nice.
Oh, I got it. See, like,
Okay, this Ana play is a bit too aggressive. You're about to die.
I can blow.
Okay, fall back.
How did my stun not get her?
Because the Pharah was too far, and number two, the Pharah got shielded.
Let's
That's
push
why
this
your
side.
stun did not go through.
I'm gonna have dragon.
Or just like sword DP set up. Wait for me. We're gonna push left. Let's go.
They know?
I have shatter.
Push up, push up. Watch it, right spot. We got shot. Right spot. We got.
That's a really good shatter. Unfortunately, there was a shatter. We do have a sound barrier.
Run one.
Okay.
Nice.
Again. Alright. If we look closely here.
I got stun.
Alright.
Right.
This shield should not be pointed over here, over the dead Rhine. In fact, the Rhine already used all of his, like, his ultimate. The only ultimate that you're supposed to shield it from. So that means that your Rhine, your priority as Rhine is to shield your team from most of the damage, which is gonna come from the McCree, the Zarya, and the Pharah, all of whom are over here. So this shield should be over there. I can't draw an arrow, but whatever. And maybe we could have survived that.
I got stun.
No, we lost that.
So all in all, it's just us not focusing the exact same targets, being too slow and rotating and capitalizing on things.
Okay.
And that is why, and perhaps also playing very scared.
But the first one we gave the Doom way.
So
I'd call out to go ahead.
that's it for Busan. Let's go to what appears to be Rialto.
You want?
Yep, this is Rialto. It's not yet starting. Oh, that's too far in the future.
Like here.
Okay.
I think. Like
This is
here.
fine. We've got
Turn around and
okay El Clasico in terms of Rialto anyway.
I'm almost
It's like
where
or
you
Junkertown
can go, like,
and Junkertown.
aggressive.
Junkrat, Widowmaker, Orisa Hog.
Watch out. Tell us if they're coming from the
Big,
left.
better than him.
Okay,
I'm gonna pull.
good pick.
Pulling. Oh, you already.
I wish.
Good communication on when you're gonna pull and when you're gonna hook.
Rank shield top. I'm reputting the shield. I'm reputting shield around corner.
We're going right side.
I'm pulling up him. Some.
Okay. First of all, if you're running this composition, I want your Junkrat to be over here pressuring their Rhine. Because at this point, your Roadhog and your Orisa are not gonna be able to output the damage necessary to force this Rhine to just hide behind the payload instead of walking in front of it. His shield is not gonna be breaking fast enough. So as much as possible, we want this Junkrat to be pressuring that Rhine. The Widow is fine to flank and whatnot to get a better angle on that Pharah, or at the very least make them not be able to comfortably snipe our backline or our tanks. Okay.
Widow, they have Widow.
Ah.
Widow left side on bridge.
They're down Lucio.
Keep Discord on there.
Nice.
Fire down.
Rhino shield.
I need heals. I'm 58. I'm 58.
Widow down.
Nice. I'm gonna pull. And pulling. Oh, I didn't hit anybody. Didn't
Go.
matter.
I got a good story.
Zarya down.
Good pick so far.
They have a widow, so be careful.
Yeah, Pam, come back up a little bit.
I'm peeking for Widow.
Your Roadhog is a bit greedy. That's a very risky play. If they had Boop, you would have been dead.
Just watch left side.
They have two sources of that.
Widow high ground. Like mid spot. You know what I mean? Like in here to the left.
Okay.
Oh, they're going behind. I'm flank.
In this situation, your Roadhog should be looking at this alley right here and here. Because these are the two attack paths that they can take. Your Widowmaker is too busy actually looking out for the enemy Widowmaker, so it's not really his job. So it's usually on your, what do you call this? On your Roadhog, because the Roadhog is not really that easily punishable anyway. He doesn't care if he gets sniped by this Widowmaker. He can just suck on his juice and whatever. So he's back full health. Your Anna wants to hide, same with your Zen. So, anywho,
Far right one. Far down.
Still one. Nice.
Mercy one.
I'm lagging a bit.
Get Zarya.
one thing I wanna hear more is more callouts on who is discorded, so that your team can actually focus down that target,
Spawn.
and more callouts from the tanks, so that the entire team knows who to focus on.
Just
in front.
They swapped Diva.
Save your
Triple
transfer.
tank.
Apart from that, also more callouts to where the Widowmaker is to help our Widowmaker.
Widow going on flank, I think.
So they
Alright,
switched to
I'm pulling
goats.
back, I'm pulling
Goats
back.
with
We got cheddar.
a Widowmaker, which is very strange.
Widow on bridge, Widow on bridge.
Run, 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 run.
Okay.
Widow on alley, bridge.
Again, I wish this. Okay. I wish this Junkrat was instead over here, because you can still spam. You can still spam from this corner and have a very safe spot where you can just tire and go here or here and kill maybe their backline or both of their tanks. If you hide here, it's very risky. As you can see, the Diva just went for you and killed you. So, something to improve upon next time.
There, Mercy res, Mercy res.
Diva.
Yeah, I'm
on the
back line.
Arzen's down, careful with Widow.
8. Walk back.
Widow's to
I'm going for him, I'm going for him. Where's Widow?
left low ground.
I see her. I'm getting dive by Diva.
Sorry, I should have.
Honestly, I think your
Left low.
Ana could have just used the shield. Like for example, in this scenario, the Widowmaker is over here, so that means that sightlines is like that. So this is a no-go zone. This is pretty safe. This area is pretty safe, and that's because your Roadhog and your Orisa. This Roadhog should not be flanking, by the way. You need to stick as much as possible together and protect the only source of healing that you have. Because if you're able to just hold this area, your team can reinforce from behind, and you'd still be in a very good spot. So, improvements. Something to do next time.
Widow's to
I'm going
left.
for him, I'm going for him. Where's Widow?
Left low ground.
I see her. I'm getting dive by Diva.
Sorry, I should have shielded.
Alright,
Wiki, was on our back still?
You can stall, you can stall. I'm coming back, I'm coming back. Stall, touch us.
I'm low. I'm 30 health. I'm 30 HP. I'm 30 HP. Ryan is trapped in the little room.
Widow on me. Ooh, wow. Widow high
Lucio
ground,
back.
Widow high ground, top left. Widow top left, careful, Widow. Widow peeking top left, Widow.
No, man.
I can't block.
Lucio anti. Lucio half. Reloading.
Diva no matrix.
Diva sleeping. Diva.
Diva dink. Get out of me.
I can pull them all together, but.
Zarya 1. Zarya half. Zarya 1.
Okay, that's a good defense.
Get rank. I can pull them up.
Give me walls.
You were able to focus the same target for the most part, but then again, they were literally right in front of you. So,
Okay, I have my ult.
but hey, at least improvements, right?
Use Junk Tire. That
They're
should
going,
be it.
they're going left side, I
If
think.
we don't get a pick with Junk Tire, the combo.
Again, this is risky play.
Yeah, Pipette.
Check this shit out.
Don't cheat.
Okay, fuck.
Right. You have a shield.
I'm fine.
The
They're going
pushing
on flank,
left.
So why I don't have a shield.
I got getting dive.
Come back. It's just Diva.
Widow down.
Diva no boosters.
Okay, I don't have it. Oh, there we go. Diva top.
Nice tire.
Maintain point. Diva on point.
Good shield.
Get more left side. Diva low.
Widow coming in late, careful. Stay behind shield, guys.
Okay, solid defense. Like, a bit sloppy in certain areas, but
Man ran away.
Lucio one.
Widow
It's
half,
good
Widow
enough.
Widow half right side. Nice. Widow down.
Lucio one on point.
Lucio on point.
Took it.
Nice.
okay.
Alright, my pulls were.
You're asking for
I'm
help.
sorry.
I need to restart my game.
I think it's over here.
No, right side.
Too far.
I'm not a terrible Sombra, I just didn't put her in my hero pool because I prefer not to play her. I've played way too much of her on my Smurf.
I tried playing her a long time ago.
Are we doing
I didn't
Ana
like it.
Lucia?
Alright.
By the way, I messed up the subs, but we'll fix it next.
Ana Lucio is just a little less vulnerable to
They have a Genji.
Sombra, so
Okay.
that's why it's a
Um,
bit more
They
preferred.
have a Ryan, a McCree, a
Yo,
Zen.
hack the Mega
right side. On the bridge.
I'm gonna go scout.
They have a Hog, Ryan Hog, a Genji. Okay, they have an Ana. So we can dive either Ana, Zen, or McCree.
They have
Those
a
are probably
Genji
the best
McCree.
targets.
I have Ana over here with me.
Genji's
Oh,
low,
I got
Genji's
Zen
low,
over here.
Genji's low, Genji's low.
Okay,
That's
hang on. What happened there?
I have Ana over here with me.
Genji's
Oh,
low,
I got
Genji's
Zen
low,
over here.
Genji's low, Genji's low.
Okay. Our monkey did not respect the fact that they have this Roadhog just here. He took, like, a shrapnel and then got hooked in. So, unlucky. Should have been staying here in the payload and then waiting for your Sombra to hack. Maybe this, what do you call this? This Rhine, or finishing off that really low, Genji.
That's it.
Genji down, or sorry,
Okay, that's 2 big
We can
picks.
still win this. We can still win this.
I'm down, I'm down. Zen's down though, we got 2 big picks.
You just need to poke a little bit,
Once I speed and whiz, we can push. We can push.
then you
Oh,
can
they went
stay
to
on the
Zen,
payload,
they swapped
because
to
they
Lucio.
don't want to fight right now.
Or says Zen to Lucio.
So this is good decision by your
And you gotta stick with
Diva.
a little bit more. You have
Ana's
to
low, Ana's
respect
low.
Yo, Mini hacked in the left side over here.
So what are we focusing on again? Are we focusing on the Ana, the Rhine, or the Roadhog?
Bad luck.
It's not really clear.
2 picks.
Genji on man back.
We got 2 picks,
He's purple.
I'm on my way back.
Genji's half. Genji's one. Genji
but that could have been cleaner.
Heals on point if you need it. Call targets. Call targets.
Ryan's one.
I'm gonna hack Ryan's shield. Oh, actually, I got.
Okay, that is probably the worst way to hack a Rhine shield. Like literally going in front of a McCree, and then diagonally going towards the Rhine. Maybe you could have flanked a little bit, like cross this river, maybe.
Got flashbang.
Okay, push up. Push up. Push up. Push up.
Ryan hack, Ryan hack, Ryan hack. Ryan down.
I'm
Lucio
flipped.
1.
I can kill Lucio. He's healed up.
Hog hack, hog hack.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Yeah, get back.
So are you talking to your mom? Cause that's why we
I have
start
bleed.
talking. Let's we can
I'm hacking
EMP
mini
bomb
over
this way. They have Shredder for sure.
Yeah, they had Shredder.
They used whole hog. They probably have Nanoblade too. I have my ult though to counter.
You think they have?
Yo,
They're probably close to Deadeye. They don't have beat though because they swapped.
yo, let me know when you want me to EMP.
Call it out and
What
then
are we
can
gonna do
bomb.
with it?
What do you mean? What are we gonna do with it? We literally have this combo right here and this combo right here. Like these 3. There's a lot of things that we can do with it.
I got EMP.
Okay, that's a kind of okay counter to the
Ryan hack, Ryan hack.
what do you call this? The Genji blade.
Going with.
But we are super split, so it
Fine,
means
fine.
nothing. Like EMP is only good
The new hook.
if there's a follow-up damage to it.
Get out. Get out. We lost.
Unfortunately, the Diva bomb is just too late.
I'm still 6 out.
I'm speeding out.
If you're going to decide on using one of the... Okay, let me pause it. If you're going to decide on whether or not to use this combo right here, or this combo right here, you gotta be very sure, and you gotta do it fast. You don't worry about it failing or whatever, or what you're supposed to do after that. If it fails, don't worry about that. Just execute it, and then just worry about the consequences later.
Ryan hack.
That way you don't slow down and just set the tempo instead of your enemy setting the tempo for you.
They used
Are
it.
there? Oh, they used it.
Yeah,
That
that's
first aid heal you guys
Okay,
get ult
okay.
charge.
Yeah. Group up with Lucio.
Alright, let's go. Going.
Call out the Nanoblade. I'll speed you. Call out when you're gonna use his
Alright, you know what, screw it. I'm stunned. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Run.
So the good thing about that is that they already used their what do you call this? Their support ults, or rather their what do you call this?
Over by water.
Sound barrier. So Blade was a bit more successful. But again, after that, there's no follow up.
What the heck, dude?
Okay, let's go back.
Call it when you're gonna use his
Alright, you know, screw it.
All right, go for that.
I'm stunned. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Run.
Focus on Ryan, and then
He went up high ground.
Yeah, I got Roadhog. Ooh.
Roadhog by
we
the
don't really know. At least from my perspective, anyway, I don't know who exactly we're going to dive next. There's no call out. There's literally no call out on who's gonna be the next focus.
Roadhog over by water.
Get back,
He
get
went
back.
back. He's the back.
They're all anti.
Genji hack.
What the heck?
And since there's no focus fire, you're all going to die.
Shut him down with
Get out.
Yep. Okay, that's a bit overkill from them.
Dude, pro sleep.
It's a good sleep, by the way.
3, 2, 1. Oh, never.
No, you cannot dive that because their team is right there, and he's nano boosted. And you're just 3 people, so there's no way that you can dive that.
Get shattered probably.
Genji up top.
It's a good kill on the Genji, really aggressive.
Run. Still get run.
Ryan hack. Ryan
Ryan.
one.
Nice sleep.
Yeah.
Hog anti.
Yeah. Ryan hog
Fine,
down.
McCree.
Lucio on point right side. Lucio on point, come back.
Hacking Lucio. Lucio hack. Ryan incoming.
Okay, when the call out,
Push this
okay,
on.
when the call is get rid of the Lucio, fuck whoever is in front, go back for the Lucio, because we want that checkpoint.
I have another blade.
Never mind. Hey, get out a little bit.
I'm going for Ana on a hack.
We nanoblade this fight. They beat the.
Even if they manage to contest the point with the rest of their team, that means that they're contesting it without half of their healing, because the Lucio's already dead.
Ryan top left. Ryan top. Hog. Hog no E. No E.
Okay, let's go back to that a little bit.
Hog. Hog no
Alright.
E. Hog no E. No E.
Alright. There are literally 2 targets. There's the Hog. Wait, there's the Hog, who has 600 HP, I believe. And this Genji, who has 200 HP. We have a Winston that can go through the deflect, which he was using at that point. So I think the better target there was the Genji. Not only because he has the ult, but because he's easier to kill.
No E.
Oh,
Then you go for the Roadhog.
Okay, we can Gio, try and hack their Lucio. And
Okay,
then
I'm gonna
focus
get
the
some
Lucio. And we can
mega
use
back,
Blade.
mega back left
Or
heal.
Nanoblade. Once we hack Lucio, we can Nanoblade.
Okay,
I got it.
I'm gonna wait. Let them use their ult or whatever.
We're shattered. I'm down. Can you charge me? No, it's not. It's fine. Unless we can get a pick.
I'm watching Lucio right now.
You get this right.
nice.
Get the group
Dude, the
up.
run's going. I need heals though.
Just regroup quick. We're down Lucio.
They're also down a lot.
Oh,
Right, no, they're down too, but they have quicker spot.
they're spy checking.
They're spy checking.
Okay, we.
Okay, spy checking is a legit strategy, by the way, because the more that you do it, the less your Sombra can actually do anything. The Sombra can't go for a hack without being spotted, and that means that she needs to teleport out. And since your Sombra needs to teleport out, that means that your dive has less teeth, because she couldn't get a hack. So, spy checking, pretty legit.
We hack Lucio and then we Nanoblade.
Alright, I'm looking
Call
for
out when
Lucio.
you're in a whenever.
In other news, Tom Joe 5 has been scene zoned by
Hack him. I got him.
Huffle Clown.
As soon as I did that, they shot my thing.
What tanks are left side? Right on point.
He saved himself so hard. I'm stuck in here though. I'm alive,
Soldier, they're all three in point.
Okay, I have no idea what's happening to the rest of the team because of this camera angle, but
It's fine. We regroup. We regroup.
Yeah.
he apparently
Just,
lost.
did you use
Let's see if we can piece
Phoenix
together
or left
why.
side? Right on point.
Got my thing.
Okay, we lost our Sombra.
Phoenix or left side? Right on point.
He literally. he
Okay,
saved
they
it.
committed like
I'm stuck in
3 ults, and then we got
They're
super split.
all three in point.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. Because they also committed attack visor, I believe.
It's fine. We regroup. We regroup.
Yeah. Let's just did you use bomb pants or did you die? Okay.
I can hack him again if you want.
No, we
You
we
guys
just,
should be
let's
thinking
push
about
it
what
for.
ult combos you should be using right now. I would suggest using a Diva Bomb and an EMP it. Then you
We
can
don't have
get it.
EMP.
But you guys are so
We're gonna get it real soon.
You
though.
can't coach us mid game.
Oh yeah, I went in. Sorry.
It's
I wasn't
fine,
going
it's
in
fine.
on that
We do that.
move.
We do that though. That's good.
I'm giving you suggestions.
Well, yeah, but we don't have
Alright,
EMP yet.
It's fine. It's fine.
EMP's coming in. I can build
He's
it
gonna
real
get it fast.
fast.
He's gonna get it fast.
Alright, I've been really playing passive, but I can get on aggressive if you want.
Yeah,
It's
wait,
fine, we're gonna get in,
stop
like-
poking, stop poking. We don't. Our Summer's not in position.
We're getting all charged. What do you mean? That's my job as Gumby.
Yeah, but not our tanks. They can't.
Agreed. Your tank should not be poking. Like, you are going to wait behind this wall over here. And just wait for your Sombra to either get EMP or hack a target that's really good. Like, say, this Rhine or this Brig. Or maybe, since she has the ult, the Ana. I think that's the Ana. Oh wait, that's the soldier, but whatever.
EMP at 95, 96.
I'm about to have another blade too.
Okay, throw in bomb first. Throw in bomb first. Throw in bomb
EMP built,
first.
EMP built, EMP built.
Throw in bomb and then we EMP. EMP.
What? I didn't catch anybody, I didn't catch anybody.
Okay. So, apart from telegraphing what you were supposed to do in this scenario, because you're just waiting, so that means that you definitely are waiting for something like an EMP. So they were already ready for you. Like, so what can you do in that scenario instead? What you can do is you throw the bomb first. So the bomb goes over there, which splits up the enemy team. They go everywhere, and then using that bomb, without EMPing, you focus down one of the split targets, and then you go on, regroup, focus on another target.
Bad bomb, bad bomb. Oh, bad EMP, sorry. Bad bomb.
I mean, they were both bad,
Yeah,
honestly.
call out.
Well, okay, the bomb was okay, the EMP was not so much.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Dude,
Neither-
I've
So
been
anyway,
going at Wiz for
that's
having
Rialto
fucking
done.
time.
Let's go. What map is this?
Like,
They're double
Alright.
sniper, I
follow
think.
me.
Okay, let's go back a little bit.
Reaper.
Your brigade.
Alright,
So we're running goats, it seems.
Rush point.
Okay.
Goats
Almost
with
done? Got it.
Moira. Okay, so really short range
What are you
heals.
supposed to do in this comp is you're supposed to go underneath
No anti-heal.
big thing. Like,
They're double
Alright.
sniper, I
follow
think.
me, follow me, follow me.
Yeah, they're double sniper. They're double sniper.
Okay,
Nope.
Yo, why are we?
in this scenario, you shouldn't be walking towards them, you should just go to the point. Because if you're facing an Orisa composition, the Orisa wants to stay put right here, or wherever she's placed herself, along with the rest of his team. She doesn't want to move. The more you want to, like, the more your team can make this Orisa move elsewhere, the higher the chances that you're going to catch out one of these motherfuckers out in the open and focus them down. Or maybe you can even catch one of the tanks down in their rotations. So
Back.
that's how you deal with it.
Russian went a completely different way, so I followed him and died.
Okay, your Zarya is inting, I think.
It's not fun.
You are lacking a save, so that's not gonna help your team in any way, shape, or form. It's additional ult charge as well,
I almost killed.
Right, wait.
and that's a lot of time wasted.
Can you go taxi him? Thanks.
Let's push left. Left under
Wait,
the
wait.
Okay. Pushing left is good. You can mess up goats. Like, okay.
Right
Ready?
here.
Goats is deceptively difficult to play. The game plan is very easy, but getting to that goal is actually very difficult.
Ready? Ready? Go, go, go.
Because there's a lot of moving parts that need to do their job perfectly. Otherwise, you're fucked. Also, why is this... Okay, my second question is, why was this rotation towards the point incredibly slow despite us having a Lucio? It implies that our Lucio was not speed amping all the way to the point. That is a problem. That is something that we need to rectify. If we're supposed to, when we're facing something like Orisa, we need to outmaneuver their team, and that means getting as fast as possible to the place where we can pressure them the most and force a rotation. So the point. And of course, by going as fast as possible, we also like reduce the amount of spam we eat. So that means that our Ryan can just hammer down instead of shield up, because his shield will not take that much damage.
Ready?
Go
Get,
Orisa,
get,
Orisa,
get
Orisa,
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 Orisa, Orisa, Orisa, Orisa,
This is
Orisa.
out. This is out of position.
Go on Orisa. Go on the bitch. Kill
I'm
her.
low. I'm low. I'm low. I'm low. I'm low. I'm one.
Like, you can get off the point.
I got
to
Hondo.
on.
We were doing that. Calm down.
Diva.
I got it too. Dude, I don't know what's happening.
Neither do I. But okay, let's go back to that.
Like, you can get off the
Alright,
Get Orisa, 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 Orisa,
This is
Orisa.
out.
versus the target.
Go on the bitch. Kill
I'm
her.
low. I'm low. I'm low. I'm low. I'm low. I'm one.
It's unfortunate that they already have the dragons, I wonder why.
We were doing that. Calm down.
Diva.
I got it too. Dude, I don't know what's happening.
Anna
I don't know.
Again, there's no, like, call out as well to disengage. Or at least it's very late.
Alright, we got one tick. We got one tick.
Rush.
That's-
Granted, we still got rid of their mercy, but their mercy is likely going to get back here before
My fucking name for?
it becomes an issue.
To get back. I said that like 5
I
times.
have, fuck.
Oh, so me clicking shift in front of him is just useless. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
I have Shutter. I have Shutter. We have,
Okay.
Results.
They're
They have a
gonna
result.
have- They're gonna have Orisa ult, Mercy ult, Diva ult.
They already used walls, so I don't think they'll have it again.
This
Go
one's
left.
starting.
Alright,
Go
push
the same way. Same way. Go fast, go fast, go fast.
Oh my god, this is so slow. And that's the problem right there! What is this? Why are you switching? You should be on speed. And then amping all the way to the point. And then using like that small alcove behind the point just to like have your Ryan in front. And the rest of your tanks just pressuring or just supporting him from behind. The Ryan is going to be standing on the point, pressuring them to move. Anyway.
Speed us.
My shield's gone. My shield's gone.
Wait for a shield recharge.
We have to heal him. I already used my E. Give me like 3 seconds.
Oh, nice,
Go,
nice.
go.
Diva, nice, Diva. Get Diva. I can block. Block. Stay behind me. Get Hanzo.
Orisa.
Oh. Get Orisa supercharger. Get supercharger.
Okay, consolation prize of
Orisa.
Supercharger.
Get Hanzo. He's a main damager. Once he's done, they just have tanks.
I go there.
Okay.
Push your tanks.
Go in tanks.
I'm
Kill
sleeping.
Diva.
Don't get
Get
her right.
Mercy,
Don't
get
get
Mercy
her
if
right.
you can. Get Mercy if you can.
Okay. Now, granted, Diva is indeed a tank, okay? But Darissa is the only tank that the rest of our guys can actually kill. Because Lucio, Brigitte, and Moira. So, not sure why our Diva is just 1v1ing a Diva that's getting healed by a Valking Mercy.
They're both at top. I'm coming behind them.
Go
I'm
get
coming
her.
behind them.
Nice.
Orisa dead.
I'm coming behind them.
Mercy's using.
Point.
Mercy res, Orisa.
We get Mercy. I can't block. I mean, I can, but we can push in them. Kill Diva. We can. Oh no, we don't.
Stagger, leave her.
Alright, it's fine.
I mean, they're already very staggered because they just C9, so with your Lucio you should be able to push in very quickly.
Okay. Rally when
Don't
we go.
rally
Rally when we push.
pre-fight. Don't rally pre-fight.
No. We're pushing in. We're pushing in.
Go.
Go on Orisa. Hard push Orisa.
Orisa.
Okay, hang on. How is our Diva already here? Hang on.
Okay, we got
Guys,
Rally
guys,
from
if you come
underneath
back, I
and
can
grab.
rally. I can rally.
Okay, we're gonna rally.
Pre-fight, don't rally pre-fight.
No, we're pushing in. We're pushing in.
It's whatever. I mean, I don't mind it because they don't really have a graviton surge, so that means that your rally is more like an ult that gives you additional health rather than that's a little bit better than your Lucio.
Hard push Orisa, hard push Orisa.
Don't really need to save yourselves from some form of CC. Okay, I have no idea how our our diva's already here. I already replayed it. Bottom line is if you're goats, you're going to go to the point and you're focusing on that target that everyone called out. In this case, the Orisa. If both of the snipers are here, then from the point you jump towards them and contest them, sure. But till that's the case, you're just focusing down on this Orisa.
Okay, Orisa and Grab.
Just get her. Kill her. Kill her. Kill her. Kill her. Kill her.
They named Orisa. Who's on point? Get Dave on point.
Mercy. Mercy's one.
Hanzo's
Mercy's one.
behind.
Mercy's one.
Watch out for Hanzo. He's behind us.
I have no idea how we're still winning this. Apart from
I don't have.
perhaps the enemy focus fire is just really, really bad.
Get on her. Nice, Orisa on point. Get supercharger. Okay, Diva. Okay.
Also, whoever these guys are having a conversation of May Reaper.
Hey, right side. Come on.
The values of having a pocket composition on a certain map.
Who's your left? Who's your left? Nice. Diva. Diva.
More on point.
I don't mind that beat, just to make sure.
I held Shadow the entire time. I probably should use that.
Yo,
In that
Ruffin,
situation, I think your Shatter could have been used even on just 2 targets. Maybe the Doom, maybe the Diva.
quick tip for Zarya: when you're focusing one person, you
So we can
Ruffin
go back in that fight.
Nice. Diva. Who's your left? Who's your left?
Yep, even on just the Lucio and the Diva over here. You could have used their Shatter. Just so that they don't really have that much stall anymore.
Diva.
More on point.
You don't need to get that much value out of your ults if you're goats, because your goats just operates without any ults anyway. Like, it just operates better with ults, but it can definitely get kills and do things without ults. Because all you need to do is speed in as 6 people and focus down the exact same target.
Okay, why I called right? Okay, if you on this map, if they're holding up top right and you have goats, you come up
Yeah, you
left,
go underneath them.
go underneath them. That's the best strategy you can do.
Well,
Yeah,
we called something.
Anyway, we're gonna skip a Reno. Oops. Bit too far. But it seems like we're running Orisa Hog? No, Orisa Diva? Orisa Diva with Junkrat Widowmaker. Gotcha. Excuse me.
Desperate.
Probably.
They're running goats. Okay.
Looks like goats.
So on paper, our team should win because this is just fuck ton of spam.
I didn't see. Okay, yeah.
Wait, fall back, fall
I
back.
phone 3. I
It's a
phone 3.
goats with a Zen.
I'm gonna pull him out. Right side. Pulling him out right side. I pull people together.
They're super split.
Okay.
Go right.
Get on. Get on him.
Rotate.
I got it, Zarya.
Right. Discord.
Get on point,
Okay,
get on point,
your
get on
Diva
point.
needs to get on point.
Diva.
Okay, okay. Here's my question. Why is our Junkrat the guy who's contesting the point? Secondly, why was our Junkrat over here instead of over here? Eh. Because, like, if you have goats, one of the weaknesses of goats is the only thing that can contest high ground is the diva. This guy. If someone's on the high ground, it's almost certain that they cannot do anything about it. That's why Pharah is such a strong pick against goats.
I'm gonna set it top left.
Assuming that you can keep them at a choke point or you can keep spamming them.
They swapped, so they're gonna have a widow.
They go in main, I think.
Diva Sam, Siva, and Widow. Okay, they're still goats.
They have no reason to switch.
Purple. Get a good break. Break one.
Big one. I'm on
Oh
there.
no, armor's nice.
Diva low. Diva 1 on point. Diva 1
I got
point.
the break.
That's a really bad trans from them. Good grief.
Healer.
As well as really bad focus fire from the enemy team, and that's why they just died. Not to mention that we're just like running the comp that counters it,
We have Nano.
basically.
Can you place a trap behind me?
Especially on this point, because we have high ground, and goats is very difficult to bring to the high ground. Although, if we're gonna do this, I would prefer that our high ground take is not here, but instead over here. The balcony over here. I don't know why my arrows, like, look like that. Anyway.
How the fuck did I fall down there?
Russian, are you lagging?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm lagging.
Alt tabbed right now because I was lagging a bit.
Yeah, don't be careful of all tabbing. Like the game crashed.
Oh,
now if
they're
you do
being
that.
toxic.
No, I'm just trying to close some applications. There you go.
Rand,
now.
Rand is always toxic. Like, fuck.
Oh, that's not gonna hit. Oh wait, it can hit.
Zenyatta's bottom right.
I have no idea what's happening below. But apparently our Anna died to Zen.
Widow low. Widow one.
I got their Lucio.
Ryan's shield low. Ryan's charging me.
Wait.
Unfortunate. No fortify. That's basically over unless you switch
Holy crap.
to something that can stall.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's like hardcore freezing.
Dive.
So that's basically Lunar Colony down. Let's go to King's Row,
Everyone has them.
which I believe is the last map because this seems like a 1v1 bullshit.
He's shorter range.
Yes, that's what
Okay.
he was saying.
So they're running Orisa Diva.
They
We're
have
running
goats. I don't
goats
see any
again with.
Looks like goats. Oh, no, they have hog.
Oh wait, we're running. They're running goats. We're running Orisa Hog.
I'm being dived by
Orisa Diva. Double sniper. Gotcha.
heals. You're down.
Get more.
Not entirely sure what happened, but you guys focused on the grind and now they're all split. So this is all Gucci. It's unfortunate that we lost our Diva.
Zarya one. Hog hit. Hog down.
Doesn't matter. We have the mech pack.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fall down there.
Go back, person.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I've thing. Dragon Strike.
Fucking internet.
Use it to try and
Yeah, I know how to use it.
split
Yes.
Okay. Look, if your teammate is giving you advice, just accept it. No need for the sass. Secondly, it's better to assume that the rest of your team actually know how to play Overwatch, so unless they ask you for advice, don't give them any.
I understand how to play the game.
Hog going right. Hog going right. I might get hooked.
Hop going hotel.
They're all going hotel.
A bit late on that
Diva on me,
combo
Diva.
with the pull, the dragon.
Oh wait, I left you. Oh crap. Sorry.
Sorry.
Moira's
Diva
down.
high ground, Diva high ground. I'm resing Zen.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can give him a tick. It's fine.
Contest.
Main support is down.
Okay, in this scenario, we lost our Zen.
Resing
And
Zen.
that's mostly because our Zen did not rotate. Like, he saw that the Diva was gonna go for him, he did not go here. Just bad. So, just quicker rotations.
Diva on me.
Oh wait, I left you. Oh crap, sorry.
Alright.
Moira's
Do
down.
high ground, do high ground. I'm resing Zen.
Okay, we can give him a tick. It's
Contest,
fine.
contest.
I'm
Main
contesting.
support is down. Lucio half. Lucio half.
Give him one.
On paper, this is a very difficult fight to win anyway, because you have double sniper. Double sniper is not that great against goats unless you can pick off their supports very consistently.
I don't know. My game
Sorry.
is freezing so much.
I keep.
So we now have Ryan Zarya double sniper against goats, which is well, this isn't goats. What am I talking about? It's quad tank.
Junkrat or Reaper, yeah.
A very odd thing to pull out, especially when you're just attacking. This is better in defense because it gives you about a minute and a half.
Happening anymore.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening anymore either.
That's all.
Actually, what happened there?
Yeah, we should go like
I can hit up Reaper.
Junkrat or Reaper, yeah.
I'm gonna hit up Reaper.
Okay,
Dude.
when the call is fall back, fall all the way back, because if their composition is this, despite it not being goats, it's still very powerful against you. And it's still very efficient even without ults, so something to
Can't.
think about next time.
Go fall back. Fall back.
I don't know what's happening anymore. Yeah,
There's a
I'm
call.
gonna.
Yeah, you guys
can push the call.
Gonna get punished. This Hanzo is 1v1ing Moira and is gonna lose.
I see it.
Please just in always causes another cause.
Pause.
Yeah.
I beat you.
Uh, if it's not better by the end of this round, I'll just switch me out.
I got hooked. I'm falling back.
I'm sorry. I fell down twice.
Okay, team is staggering. There's no way that they can probably contest this.
Really killing us.
We have to get
It's a
out.
good save on your Lucio.
Play around quad tank.
About that.
Yeah, I think we have to play heavy burn.
We could like
Okay,
Pharaoh or
after I ult,
Junkrat
after
or
I ult,
something.
after I ult.
Okay. If against quad tank, what you want is a Zen. Granted, it will be vulnerable if they switch to Sombra and they get an EMP, but then again, it's a Sombra composition. That means that their EMP is not really gonna come in until much later, so it's not immediately punished for switching to Zen. Zen Ana is gonna work because you've got anti-heal from Ana, which is the bane of all four of their tanks. Apart from that, you can probably go for... You can also go for a Pharah. Pharah is also fairly good. Granted, Pharah is not that great on the third point. A Junkrat is another viable option. So those are the things that you can do against
What?
quad
I
tank.
thought he
Fuck
hit
them.
my crewmate.
Roxy,
My bad.
Farah.
Ryan though. Are we all here?
Where's your ult
We can push them. We can push them. We can push. Push into them.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
shit.
nice.
Sorry, my bad, boys. I can touch. I'm touching.
Zarya behind, grab.
I can block. I can block. I'm dead, boys.
Yep, there's no way that they can contest it
Okay.
as much.
Well, we didn't stall
Second
him, but
point,
we got
that is.
a lot of ults actually, so that's really good.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
sorry.
again, this is quad tank, so that means that
Rav.
them having ults is not really... It's just the icing on the cake, so to speak. Quad tank does not rely on ults.
They have full hog, so they have
Same
full
as
hog Moira.
goats.
Yeah. But get this hog.
Diva out of mech.
Nice.
Okay, Moira one. Okay, Moira no fade.
Come here, Shredder.
I'm blocking. My shield's gone.
Lucio no amp.
Roadhog down.
Let's just kill him.
I'm charging back in.
Get the right.
I got ult.
Push on the right. Push on them. Just push on them. Zarya one.
Sorry,
Keep going.
Okay, so we got a Pharah and Reaper,
No shield.
just as predicted. It's gonna be great. They switched to Widowmaker.
They have Widow, they have Widow.
That means that we should probably get a Widowmaker of our own.
I'll hold Shatter. You want me to hold Shatter though?
They swapped Sombra too.
I'm gonna hide. I'm gonna hide.
They have no diva. This is easy clap.
Do we want to grab Reaper? or
That's
grab
true.
Nano
It is
Reaper?
easy clap.
Grab Reaper.
Don't think the teabag was necessary because now you're gonna feed.
Oh, Summer.
Yep.
Oh come on.
Sorry.
Fall back.
Sorry.
Wait, fall back.
Okay. Falling back here is actually a bad idea. Why? Because your Reaper is already positioned over here to flank with the Death Blossom. Your Zarya is already here, very close, and this is a good area to have a Graviton Surge into Death Blossom, especially if they already used their cooldown such as their shield, right? The only thing that can save them is a hack from the Sombra, but you already know that she hacked the Arfara, that's why she's dead. And the only other save that they have for the Graviton and the Death Blossom is this, what do you call that beam? Coalescence. So, it's gonna be pretty effective if you just did it. If you just did the Grav into Blossom right over here.
I tried to
I'm
help
waiting
you.
on you guys.
They have Sombra. We don't know.
Oh wait, this your Zarya is actually over here. Wait, shit. Too lazy to pause. Hang on. Okay, let's go back. Honestly, I wish ours. Okay, I think what could have been done instead of having
Oh come on.
Sorry.
the Zarya right over at the top, is just having the Zarya over here, right beside our Rhine, or right behind and beside our Rhine. So, no need to complicate things.
Back. Wait, fall back a bit.
Because if you had the Zarya right behind the Rhine, then that means that the Rhine would have the shield, would have a bubble. But somehow we make it work, although it's a bit expensive.
Should I?
What?
Sorry. No bubble.
You're good.
I'm going Widow.
I need healing. Wait, on the
Stop in the Widow.
Come back, Shoda.
Yo, first aid, please.
Okay. Not sure why we're falling back. Hang on.
No bubble.
We don't have the health bars up.
What?
Sorry.
Okay. So our Rhine is half. But the thing is, this is a pretty even fight and they're still trying to commit. They have no Rhine, but we do have a Shatter. And if you're wondering, is it really worth? The answer to that is yes. Because we don't want to give them space, and we want to punish them for being this aggressive without their Rhine.
No bubble.
You're good.
I'm going Widow.
I need healing. Wait, on the
Stop in the Widow.
Come back, Shoda.
So this is a prime opportunity to actually shatter them.
Sorry, it's no bubble.
We also have a very high hit energy Zarya, so there's a follow-up to the shatter.
I got you.
That's still a very good shatter, but unfortunately the Lucio did not get punished, or
Charge, I got right
get
charge.
stunned rather.
Widow bottom left.
Widow low.
Widow down.
We can
Big anti, big anti.
push.
But again, very risky proposition. Could have been a lot cleaner.
On the right.
I need heals.
Nice.
Oh shit, my bad.
Get him and back out. Back out immediately. Back up immediately.
I'm going the other side.
Oh, the camera is spazzing out. Celebrating.
Don't type.
Celebrating that really good-ish push.
Shatter
Wait, I
Ferald.
have
Shatter
my-
Ferald. Shatter
Shatter
Yeah,
Ferald.
yeah, this is clap.
They have a lot of ults.
Can I get
This
you?
is
They beat. Did they
No,
grab?
don't.
They didn't grab last
switched
time,
off
right?
Lucio. They switched off Lucio. Free Shatter.
I
Shatter
said
Ferald.
us. I said us.
They know me,
for
they
their
know me.
grab. For their grab.
They know I'm here, yeah.
Alright,
Okay, what was the plan there?
Tell her
Okay, alright. Let me go back. Why did our Farah get picked off?
I have grab again. I have grab again.
Shatter
Wait, I
Ferald.
have
Shatter
Okay, our Farah is behind Brew, apparently. So she's over there. We almost have grab. Actually, we shouldn't be giving them too much space. Again, this is a very good area to grab them. Especially if whoever's gonna deal the damage is still just sitting up there. So,
Yeah, this is clap.
They have a lot of ults.
Can I
This is
get you?
clap.
They beat.
so again,
They didn't grab last
switched
time,
off
right?
Lucio. They switched off Lucio.
giving them space, really bad. Staying here, very good.
Free Shatter.
it makes you a little bit vulnerable to to the what do you call this? To the Sombra hack, but
Soft reset, soft reset.
at least you have a better initiation area, and they don't have control of this payload,
Play with us.
and we could initiate sooner.
We're AP'd.
Now we get EMP'd and CC death.
My bad. Right
Yo, we
side.
have 4 ults.
Use him, use him, use him, use him.
Coming with EMP. Iron
Keep touching, keep touching, keep touching, keep touching. And if you say no, we can touch. Ah,
And that's unfortunate.
sorry, we didn't know we didn't keep track of EMP. We should have kept track of that.
calling it out, so I guys said.
I couldn't hear you.
Well, apart from not calling out or tracking the EMP that well, it's more of the team not really initiating fast enough before they can EMP or do it, whatever strategy or plan they might have, the enemy team might have.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Overwatch is a game of tempo, and therefore the team that has the tempo has the highest chances of winning the team fight,
What are we doing?
and
Was
by
that
extension,
I didn't hear Spyfire.
the entire map.
I didn't hear.
So,
I couldn't
I
hear
saw
you.
him in like the corner.
yep, that's too far in the future.
One top right.
Diva 1?
Still too far in the future.
Okay. Alright, Diva. What do they have?
So we're
Okay,
running
go straight to point, like
goats.
sit up by the wall by the
Wait,
point.
wait,
Wait for Ren though. Wait for Ren. Wait for
I hacked, I'm hacked.
Peel back.
Go back around, go back
Okay.
around.
Number one, you don't have to wait for your Rhine because number two, you're inside a friggin' hotel. The hotel is your shield. The Rhine can shield himself, and there's no one sniping you. At least I don't think. Yeah, they don't have a sniper. If the Rhine gets hacked, it's whatever because they have no follow-up to it. They have zero follow-up. This diva is not just going to suddenly magically appear in front of the statue and then start killing your Rhine. Neither is the Orisa, and the only person that can actually dive effectively from their composition is this Pharah, and maybe the Mercy that's healing her ass. Apart from that, your Rhine is going to be fine. This composition of theirs is really scuffed.
Wait, play on corners, play on corners, play on corners.
Like go.
Straight on the point, straight on the point, straight on the point.
Sit in the corner.
We get Sombra?
Sit by the wall. Sit by the wall. Sit by the
By the
wall.
wall, on the wall, on the wall, on the wall.
Diva.
Diva.
Push her far. Focus her. You down?
Get a Rissa.
Again, very split in your focus.
Get a Rissa over here.
The call was the diva, but then everybody else was on the what do you call this?
Diva 1?
Diva. So next time, what you can do is instead of in addition rather to saying who to focus down, have your Brig or your Rhine call out stack on me, stack on Orisa, stack on Diva, stack on X target, because in goats your least mobile heroes, or at least the shortest range heroes, are your Rhine and your Brig. And that means that they're going to be controlling who you guys are going to be focusing on.
Diva 1? Nice.
Diva out back.
Maybe Diva?
Heal our 1 point.
It all works out because, again, their comp is really scuffed.
Stagger.
I'm hacked.
Granted, Sombra is really good against goats because goats can't really do anything about you, and Pharah is really strong against goats. Therefore, because they can't really do anything about you, doesn't mean that combining those two will necessarily equate to like a very good
No, you're not.
a very good composition, especially with the tanks that they're using.
We leave Diva on point. That's the strategy.
Okay, this is a really bad idea. You don't leave the diva on the point because you need that diva to eat whatever this fucking Pharah is spewing out. So if ever there's a person who's going to leave the if there's a person who's going to push the point and leave the team, it's going to be either your Brig or actually just your Brig, because you have this guy, you have a Moira instead of an Ana. Usually the Ana is gonna be pushing the payload, but in this case, your Brig can just use her ult prematurely and then start pushing payload after that. Because in this scenario, especially with the tanks that they're using, the Brig stun is not really that useful. The only thing that it's useful for is for the, what do you call this, the Sombra. But the Sombra is not really that big an issue, especially if your team is playing as a unit. And number two, your D.Va is spy checking constantly. So, something to change in the future. Also, there we go. It's like, if we had a D.Va there, maybe you could have eaten that barrage. So,
Grab's coming in soon.
Hey, I traded at least.
Yo, should I? Once they start taking
that trade was not worth, but sure.
I'm
Yo,
coming back.
speed is back, speed me.
You're fine, I have shield.
Or not, okay.
Give me a little bit, give me a little bit. I need my shield, Okay, we can push. We can push
We
back.
have 5 ults.
I have
There's
the.
6 ults.
I'm gonna.
Three,
Okay, grab. I'm back.
Rip.
On the wrist,
Sure, they're gonna pause, blah blah blah.
She's gonna fly.
What do they have?
She's gonna fly, yeah.
Alright, I'm
They're
gonna right click
probably
her
gonna
and
pop their Mercy ult, maybe Nano to Zarya's keep her alive.
I'm gonna
But
start
other
with
than that, I don't
Let's
see.
music
what else.
unpause as
Oh yeah,
quick
we
as
have
possible.
grab right now. I just grabbed both tanks.
I'm swinging into.
It's also very interesting that they still have this Orisa in this
They might. Do they have grav?
fight.
Oh no, they use grav.
They're overvaluing the
Hey,
bongo.
When I click tab, I get Sombra shooting
no,
me
they-
whenever I let go.
Oh, I
Sombra's not
hear that
shooting.
too.
Do they
That's so
have
weird.
grav or did they use the last fight?
I just used grav.
Okay,
I don't
okay, I'm
they
be on
said
Mercy,
they have
be
grav.
on Mercy.
That's not what I asked.
Yeah, they have grav.
Okay. Yeah, they need a dart.
Mercy
I'm
for you.
hacked again. Got Sombra?
Zarya.
I got Sombra. I'm coming back in the front. I'm here now.
Ready?
We
3,
can push.
2, 1, speed.
Speed under Rissa. Rissa.
Bar's
Get
coming
super- Oh, I'm dead. I'm gonna. Supercharger. Get supercharger.
I'm on Ursa. Go ahead.
Okay.
Keep going.
Alright, the idea was good. It was the speed and then focus down their main tank, which is okay. But, before you do that, make sure that you are able to force out the bubble. Because if you can't, then Orisa is not the target that you should be going for. Instead, what you should be going for is whoever has no more save. So, the Zarya, if she self-bubbles, the Orisa, if she no longer has the bubble from the Zarya, or, well, I guess the 45 isn't that big of a deal, especially if all 6 of you are focusing him.
All on Mercy res. Okay.
But yeah, something to make this push a little bit more efficient. Granted, you still win. You almost C9. Again, our D.Va's pushing the payload. I don't know why.
I'm charging shield.
I have no juice, yeah.
Again, our Brig is not useful in the front lines. She's just gonna eat spam from this,
We got it.
Farah, and this Orisa. Oh, well, it's no longer Orisa, and this
Shadow now.
Zarya.
I'm gonna bomb and then you shadow.
I can't. You guys do anyway.
Okay,
Kill me.
let's go back to that again.
Left hand side.
Scout.
Okay,
I stopped her.
Shadow now.
so this would be a good time to actually use the bomb.
Well, there.
I'm gonna bomb.
There we go. That's an even better one because you had committal of the Valkyrie. You can actually shatter this because the Rhine turned around for the bomb like an idiot. So that means the shatter would have been effective, at least to clear out the Rhine.
I can't. You guys do anyway.
Zomber's trying to kill me. Left hand side.
Bar's one.
Zomber, why Zomber? We're all dead.
I was in a good spot.
Wait, why didn't you shatter? What?
I was not in a good spot. Ryan shield was full in front of me, and it was just.
Yeah, can we go come get a taxi, Lucio?
First aid, you're good. I have an armor
Okay,
pack
that's
soon.
Zomber's got EMP, so.
I got grav again.
Alright.
I almost have rally. We
Stun
have
shatter.
we have like 5 ults.
Stun cheddar. Okay, call it stun. And Ryan.
Okay. 3,
I got
2,
grav.
What is our Lucio actually doing?
Get on
It's
Ryan,
my
get on Ryan,
question.
get on Ryan.
Ryan dead.
Nice.
Go on, sorry.
I'm gonna grab it.
Okay.
Okay, our Lucio contributed to that fight a lot.
I'm
It seems.
I'm hacked.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
Far's gonna ult probably.
He managed to hurt the Anna's feelings, I guess.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Fair's gonna ult.
Where's Fair? Where's Fair?
Okay, push up, push up. We
Imagine if we had the additional DPS of a Lucio.
Should I stay?
And yes, that is actually a big thing, especially if your
Watch this.
if your damage output is gonna come from 3 tanks and 3 supports.
Determines a good break player.
Okay?
Get out of there.
Canuck is being a big brain player.
No, you guys are gonna have
Straight
to
from bronze.
They don't know. They have sights.
Here it comes.
My bad.
Here comes the Earth Shatter that we cannot cancel because our brig is nowhere to be found. We already used the shield, so there's nothing to block this.
I'm hacked.
Yep.
I'm hacked.
On a dead. Oh fuck.
Anna dead. Yes. My god, that Anna kill. Top tier.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Is that yellow?
I thought we were grabbing.
We lost. We might have won.
I'm back.
Actually winnable.
I'm coming back.
No, I'm dead.
I
think
got
I'm
you.
dead.
I'll eat it.
Oh god, Geoduck is an MVP.
Oh my god.
Taking one for the team. And that's basically gonna win you the point because they have no Rhine. You got super punished. You're basically invincible because you have a brig. And a fuck ton of health. Yep. There you go. So that's basically the VOD review. Basically from this team, all they need to do is better focus. Better target focus when they're on goats. Better economy when it comes to their abilities, not just their ultimate abilities, but their shields, when they use their shields, when they use their cooldowns basically. And when to punish the enemy team for using their cooldowns inefficiently. Apart from that, taking initiative in almost every fight. Like having the trust and the game sense, the aggressiveness or assertiveness to actually start the fight before the enemy team is ready to take that fight. To implement whatever team fight plan we have before the enemy team is in position to do whatever they're supposed to do. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for listening, watching, and Gumby out.